Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today we've got uh, Johnny Litecoin with us. And I've had this post up for a little while with holiday and all of our traveling and family stuff going on. We've put it off just a little bit, but Johnny is, as you guys know, really into fitness, alternative health options, and so he's going to share a little bit with us about peptides. But we also wanted to talk about what's going on with Litecoin right now, especially with, I think it's BitPay. Anyway, we'll get all that information from Johnny right after this. Let's punish the banks. How's it going, Johnny? I hope you had a great 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everyone.
Yes. Happy Independence Day. I saw your peace flag that you were flying, Lisa.
We're flying the peace flag. We feel like we're done with this war, whether it was an information war, psyop, whatever's been going on. And here at the Davis household, we have moved on. We are choosing a new path, and we're in a better boat and a better situation for it. So, and I think a lot of other people are choosing that too. From what I saw with, I shared a tweet with you earlier. You probably saw it. That was it. BitPay. It's one of the biggest crypto payment options, I guess.
BitPay is the biggest.
It is the biggest.
If
Okay.
you buy any precious metals from JM Bullion, from AppMex, from MoneyMet, from any of these companies, you pay with Litecoin or you pay with Bitcoin, they are using BitPay.
Okay.
And what's so cool about this, they didn't integrate Litecoin forever. So when I was pushing Litecoin that whole time, BitPay did not have Litecoin integrated into its software.
Wow.
Reason being, they had some connection initially with Bitcoin Cash, who I heard that Roger Ver and some other people like that had paid to keep Litecoin off of the software.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There is such like this tribalism, which I really haven't understood it, because I see like all cryptos as being, more freedom minded, freedom money. And if you believe in Bitcoin and you read the white paper on Bitcoin, you would never tell somebody not to choose another coin, because that's so like anti-Bitcoin. But you would tell them, get the hell out of this dying, FERN, Federal Reserve Note system, where they're controlling us. And the CBDC, I also want to get your thoughts on the CBDC. We are in July. FedNow, the ISO 20022 is rolled out. It's my understanding. So, but before we go there, I have a tendency to get ahead of myself. So I shared on the screen. This is showing the people who spoken. And it says Litecoin is the #1 crypto of choice for payments, which you've always said, pay with crypto, pay with Litecoin, buy Bitcoin, pay with Litecoin. Last month, Litecoin exceeded all others on BitPay, the world's largest crypto payment processor, becoming the market leader in real use. So this is like real, tangible, measurable. Litecoin was used, 34.9%. Bitcoin right behind it, 34.06. So no wonder Ethereum is 9.56, because who wants to pay for all that gas?
Where's BCH? Not that I'm ragging on BCH.
No, 6.27.
I don't hate BCH, which is Bitcoin Cash, either. I'm kind of like you. If people want to use it,
right.
Yeah. I saw it as a how it came about was in a very decentralized manner. I'm not against it in any way, shape, or form. What made me be against it was that their community was so against Litecoin. So then it kind of like, if you're backed into a corner
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna bite back. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I viewed it. I want freedom.
Mhm.
So I always said, hey, I just want you to, Litecoin's a good user experience. If you think something else is a good user experience, we're all beating the bad guys by using crypto. So
That's
it's
the
not,
point.
it's
Right.
not Litecoin versus BCH versus BTC versus this. It's us, the crypto community, versus them, the globalists, the bad guys, the deep state, the wet mother weffers, whoever you want to call them. So that's how we have to look at it. Every transaction you do through crypto, through a decentralized currency, takes it out of the banking industrial complex's vice grip.
Yeah, and they are, and that's coming. We know, like I was starting to allude to earlier, the CBDCs are coming. There are some states that the legislators are getting behind we the people and putting things in place to make them illegal if they violate our privacy, or our freedom of speech, or our liberty, which is wonderful. But just like when they did the CBDC or UBI, whatever it's called in China, I saw Ninja did a video on it today about that they're talking about putting um, expiration dates on the CBDCs so that they can, stimulate the economy the way that they need to, and all these controls for, you being a good green citizen and all this. Um, you are in the payments industry professionally and have been, really actively trying to move people forward into freedom movement, and see that, our money is our part of our voice, and how we can. I think we all saw that this summer, with the Bud Light situation, that we can vote with our money, or where we put our energy, and we can have our voice heard that way. And so, with this Fed now coming out in the ISO 222, where do you see this kind of, that could be the civil war? Um, that it could be a financial civil war, and people could choose to put their energy that way, and that way there would be no, violence necessary.
I mean, I hope. Now, I'm not as worried about this Fed now
Okay.
system as most people are. Um, it is the infrastructure and the railroad needed to run a CBDC on. I am cognizant of that. However, on the old legacy system is very slow and archaic. So actually, for the users, if there's no CBDC that runs on it, just in general, Fed now is an advantage for businesses and people transacting in the banking system, because you have more real-time settlement, you have more instant settlement. So part of the way they levy fees on you, and banks are famous for this, if you say your account has $1,000 in it and you have $2,000 going out, and the $2,000 going out, and then after that $2,000 goes out, you have 5 more $10 payments, right? But you have $10,000 coming in that same day. The bank looks at it as the money went out first. Now your account's negative. Now the insufficient funds, insufficient. So you get 6
Yeah.
insufficient funds, 6 times $35. That's $210. And then they would credit your account with the 10 grand that was coming in. So how does that make sense? It doesn't,
And
other
it's
than the
theft,
fact that,
because you don't have any voice in it. You don't have any kind of way to fight it or to mediate that. Um, very similar to with the three-letter agency that will not be spoken when you and I talk. Um, you file something that you believe is accurate with a professional, whatever, and then they come back years later and say, we changed the numbers and here's what you owe, but we're not going to tell you how or why it
Yeah.
changed. And now you're going to be, threatened with prison if you don't comply,
Yeah.
if that starts
Which there's a
hearing, I
lot
don't
of
know what it is.
there's a lot of argument and stuff I'm watching that said, well, we know it's written into the Constitution that you don't have to do that thing, right? But
Right.
they'll still come after you and throw you in prison for not doing it because we know that the banking system, the Federal Reserve System, operates on its own set of rules and laws outside of the US government.
And its own courts. Yeah.
Own courts. And I was telling somebody about this yesterday because we were explaining, it was actually a gold and silver dealer that we just walked into. We were just wanted to like walking in on those guys, seeing they usually hate cryptos, but usually it's a good conversation. At least they understand sound money to some degree. And we were just talking about how this is going to roll out, and the guy, he said, well, they'll never get rid of cash. That was his thinking. And I said, well, he goes, there's too many people with cash under mattresses. I said, so what? He goes, I said, they don't care about those people. I said, you do realize you're guilty until proven innocent in the banking world. You're guilty first, then you're more guilty, then you're even more guilty. It's not like the regular laws of the US. And the guy did agree. He did admit, he goes, you are right with that. I said, so what would make you think they give a crap about people? He goes, well, how are they going to prove it that the people got the money? I said, they don't have to. They'll tell the people, prove how you got these funds or you don't get credit in the new system. Prove it right now. If you can't prove it, you don't get your money in the new system. And I explain to him what's going to happen. They'll start out with crediting you with more value. So if you turn in $100 fiat, they'll give you probably $105 in Fed coin or whatever they call the dollar coin. I'm going to say they're going to call it dollar coin. They're going to want to keep people as asleep as possible. So dollar coin, right? And then they'll say, okay, you have 3 months to turn in your Fed notes for dollar coin and you get 105%. So that'll get a lot of people. People tell their friends, oh, download this app. You get more money, this and that. Then they'll go to where it's even for a little bit. Then they'll go to where now all of a sudden you get 95%, 90%, 80%.
Which is what they did with gold, right? They smashed the price of gold. Yeah.
And there's nothing to stop them from doing that. And there's nothing, they're got to realize the Federal Reserve it's created that way on purpose. It's not the government. It's not the Treasury. It's the Fed. They operate completely on their own set of rules and laws. I always said what got me into crypto was the fact that for 180 days, they can go into your account and suck money right out of it. And I've seen it happen to people. Yeah. It's people that I told them, hey, you're going to be good with this banking product. And, I put my name behind it and bought them the equipment. And then all of a sudden, I don't want that to happen to people. The banking industrial complex hit them for whatever ungodly reason they have in their mind, whatever bug up their ass they get. And I didn't like it. It's a lousy system. So why I pushed crypto, why I pushed Litecoin, I said I will set up every system I have to take Litecoin as cash. I won't make a dime off of it. People say, well, why would you do that? That's stupid. Why would you do that? That's stupid. I said, well, the systems accept cash. People say, yeah. And I said, well, what do I care if some of the cash transactions become Litecoin transactions? We're not making money on the cash transactions anyways.
Right.
People are just so greedy. They're like, that's crazy that you would do that. And I said, I'm not. There's still going to be credit card transactions. Most people are still going to opt to pay that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, eventually, my hope would be that with these systems, I don't care if the credit card transactions shrink down to almost zero. If I paid for that equipment and put it out there, and it's an asset that I own, I would say if you want to continue using this asset, your cost to process payments was reduced by 99%. Now you have to pay me a rent to have that equipment in there. If
Right.
not,
The model just changes. Right.
if not, I'll pull the equipment back. You still need equipment from somebody. So I'd rather it cost them a lot less, accept Litecoin, save a lot of money, have no risk of fraud than to play in that, what does Westwood call
Vampire casino.
Vampire casino. And
yeah, Westwood
now
calls
with
it.
Choke Point 2.0, they've really, you know, Choke Point 2.0, it's brought me to another level of where I am in my crypto career. I love crypto as the store of value, as a medium of exchange. But as far as integrating it into the legacy payment system, that's not my fight anymore, because they've attacked it so much. Now we're at a different part of the war.
With the ETF going to BlackRock, you mean, and all the manipulation that's going to happen with that? Is that kind of where you're thinking?
Okay, so that's kind of a necessary evil. We don't
get volume into the.
We don't need that ETF for Bitcoin to succeed, or for Litecoin to succeed. Right. They need it. Wall Street needs it.
Right.
The globalists need it. The bad guys need it. The people that can't learn crypto, the people who want their handheld need it. That's not giving you freedom, but what it is doing, it is taking supply out of the market. Okay. Because it's a spot ETF, and you can't manipulate how much they're holding. They have to prove it on the blockchain. This is how much Bitcoin we're holding. We can all, they call them the cyber hornets or whatever, can validate on the blockchain. Do they really? So it's not going to be like a gold or silver ETF where they can be like, trust us, we got the silver. And it's like,
but will they be able to do the same thing that they're doing with the gold and silver ETFs? Like, well, we have pledged, or is that's on the COMEX? I'm not sure if that's the same thing.
No, because of the blockchain, we can see it.
Okay.
We can see it. So no, they're not going to be able to do that. Bitcoin is a completely inelastic asset, meaning in supply and demand economics. No matter how high the price goes, no matter how high the demand goes, the supply is going to remain constant. So it is a good thing in some degree, but what I don't like about it is that right now the general public has very little Bitcoin. They're on zero pretty much. It was kind of a meme going around, get off zero, get off zero. Most people that I know got burned by Voyager. They got burned by Celsius. Maybe they lost money in another scam that was out there. They held altcoins that basically went to zero. They're so fed up with crypto. I've even been talking to people recently that I'm helping them get money out of Voyager. And I'm like, well, are you going to buy more of this and that? And they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to buy any more. And I'm like, they just are, they're sickened by it. The governments of the world, the globalists, succeeded in their mission.
That was their plan.
That was their plan. And don't look at this as freedom money. Look at, I've even heard a lot of ads recently. They're talking about investing. And they're like, we don't nothing to do with crypto or anything like that. So it's even being subliminally put into people's brains. Oh, crypto's bad. Ha ha. It's like a funny joke. Ha ha, funny joke.
It's dangerous,
I
but
tell people,
meanwhile,
jokes on you. I was moving
Mhm.
into Litecoin heavy between $40 and $60
Yeah.
last year.
Wow.
And people were like, well, how? Just like I was moving in heavy at $25 a few years before that.
Wow.
When it feels bad to buy, I'm buying. When it, I was mining helium and taking all the helium and buying Litecoin with it.
Wow.
And people were like, well, that seems crazy. I said, how does it seem crazy? I said, it's all you have to do is look at the ratio. The ratio's out of whack. Even with Theta, and I know a lot of people love Theta, but when Theta was pumping, people were like, are you going to get Theta? Are you going to get Theta? Are you going to get Theta? I said, well, now's the time to take your Theta and convert it into Litecoin because the ratio is so out of whack. And so many people held Theta. And I probably said it on this show that you didn't want to do anything until your Litecoin, as far as converting Litecoin into Theta, until the ratio was at least 50 to 1. And I said, you're probably going to get 100 to 1 again. Because if you look at the chart, that's where it goes back to. Right now, the ratio of Theta to Litecoin is about 125 to 1. So for every Litecoin, you can get 125 Theta. When Theta was peaking, you could get 16 Theta to 1 Litecoin. That wasn't the time to be moving into it. Now, if you had got in before that run, you did good. If you got in when Theta was at 10 cents, 12 cents, 50 cents, and it made that big move. But bottom line is you want to watch the ratios in crypto. And the ratios is not US dollar price is going to manipulate you. You want to look at, and I've always been a ratio guy. What's the Bitcoin to Litecoin ratio? What's the ratio versus Ethereum? I was talking to somebody today. Really nice guy, older gentleman that's really into crypto. I meet up with him maybe once every other month. We have breakfast, shoot the breeze. I give him just help him out, some wallet related stuff. And, I didn't do it for him. And he tells me he's moving money into his cold storage. He's doing this. And he goes, you help me, Johnny. And then now I do it on my own. I say, well, that's what I want. I don't want to be I can't be a hand holder for everybody for life. What if I get abducted by aliens and I'm not here anymore? You know what I mean?
It won't take you very far because we can't get to the moon. So you'll be close by.
I'll be in low Earth orbit. I know that. I know they can't get more than 250 miles above the Earth.
Right. Otherwise you'll burn up. So we know that for sure. I wanted to talk. I don't know if you're prepared. I know we talking about peptides, but like I said, I was busy. You were busy. Do you have some peptide information for us today a little bit? I wanted to kind of switch over and talk a little bit about that because for me personally, my husband's really excited about hearing about it. And I know that everybody in the chat's been asking me about it too. I've had some people send me messages because you are really into fitness and you do a lot of alternative health things that you really think about, like doing things that aren't going to have the negative side effects that we see so much with big pharma alternatives and things like that.
I'm very into this. I think some people call it biohacking. And I'm just very into how to, I look at it. So from man's perspective, I look at it as how to optimize your testosterone as a man. And there's a war on men's you-know-whats.
Yeah. Okay, I just saw and I retweeted it because I could not believe
it too. Yeah,
it's part of the whole attack on the family. I think is the sperm count is down over 50% in just 30 years. Probably skinny jeans don't help. I don't know, but I'm thinking that like this is crazy.
It's true. You see it. I see it with younger individuals. They just don't.
Well, there was also a report out about the the which I talked about this a few years ago with Public, and I read through that NDAA, gosh, was it 2018 or 19? I don't remember. Um, and there was the military was going to do a report on the water, and our water, over half of the water in the US has forever chemicals in it. And, um, that can cause cancer,
Sure.
also lower it affects your hormones in your body, your thyroid, all
Even
of that kind of stuff.
showering in it. I mean,
Yes.
I have well water at my house, which doesn't have all those chemicals in it. I test the water, I drink it. It's good water. I've been drinking out of glass bottles because you want to avoid getting the plastic leak, especially in the summertime. So I've been drinking out of glass type of bottles. But yeah, there's, Lisa, my theory. Now you can go nuts with the chemicals that they call them endocrine disruptors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff that's in Teflon pans and this and the plastics and that, and that stuff all plays a part. But what's having the biggest effect is these things right here.
What is
These
it? Oh, hold on.
cell phones.
Oh, yes. I saw another video where these kids were at a bar, and I say kids, they're grown adults, but they had ordered a bottle of champagne, and they bet the bartender if they could make the bottle of champagne open with the radiation from the phone. So they each called each other and and it was only like 3 phones, set it near the bottle of champagne. It made the champagne pop because it was
Wow.
so much frequency of radiation by calling each
So,
other.
so I
Like,
think the radiation has part of to do with it, but the main reason that I pointed to this phone is that the technology, we have everything at our fingertips.
yeah.
25 years ago, when little Johnny Litecoin was talking to girls that he liked, he had to call the house,
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to the father, talk to the parents.
Yeah.
Is so and so there? Go
Mhm.
up to the girl in school. You had to, like the expression goes, have a set of balls to do it. Nowadays, everything's at your fingertips.
Mhm.
You put out some funny meme that they like, and you get the girl or whatever. That's not,
Yeah.
you know, humans, we're hunters. We're designed to hunt stuff. Go out there, get the prize. You know what I mean? And it's so that is being taken from us, from our human spirit. So that to me is the biggest disruptor above all the endocrine disruptors, above all the radiation. That stuff all plays a part. Don't get me wrong. I am a full believer that the
Yeah.
chemicals, the
Yeah.
food. Now, food is a big part. I think the food, they're poisoning us with the food, with seed
Yes.
oils.
Yeah.
But the world has just changed so much that you don't have to, go up to the woman anymore and talk to her. You go
Mhm.
on the app and you
Send
send
her a DM of your
send her
body
a
parts
DM.
or whatever. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
yeah. Back in the old days when
Filter it
women
to
were
no
women.
end, so it's not even you. I mean, you could probably put up. There's probably an app that makes it look bigger.
Oh god. I don't even know. I'm just like, it's
You know what I mean?
crazy
I'm sure
nowadays.
there is. It's
Yeah, it
crazy.
is.
So that that to me is the biggest disruptor. So I'm very into studying testosterone and how do we I'm into stuff for women too. How do you become more fit as a woman? How do you stay more lean? What's some different things you could do? So one rule of thumb I'll give everyone is don't eat a lot of sugar early in the day. That is a big factor for what I feel like as setting yourself up to eat healthier. Now, people say, well, why does it matter eating it earlier in the day? Once you start eating sugar during the day, your body craves it. So if you woke up for breakfast and had a bunch of sugar, you're not giving yourself a fighting chance. You're
Yeah.
craving sugar again 2 hours later. So orange juice, which I know in that article that we retweeted, the one about sperm counts,
Yeah.
he talked about orange juice as being a good food.
Oh, okay.
But he's talking about fresh squeezed orange juice, and the orange juice you buy at the store, like a Tropicana orange juice, that's diabetes in a bottle. That's type 2 diabetes in a bottle. It's got 26 grams of sugar in it. You do that early in the day. You have a 16-ounce orange juice. You got 50. A common breakfast where I live, people will get what they call a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on a hard roll or on a bagel. So you got a lot of seed oils there, a lot of carbohydrates, and then they might drink a 16-ounce orange juice, and you got all the sugar from that. That is an awful breath. You just set yourself up
for
all
like
day long
a
for
crash.
disaster.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so that leads me into, you probably can't avoid seed oils completely, but you want to stay away from them and consciously avoid them as much as you can.
Okay.
What's some things you could do? Well, don't use Pam to spray the pan with. Cook in butter. Maybe use an avocado oil or an olive oil. Buy a regular butter. I buy a butter that's actually has salt and olive oil mixed in. It spreads a little better. Don't buy margarine. I can't believe it's not butter. Now, breads all have a lot of seed oils in them. All breakfast foods that are commonly sold have a lot of seed oils in them. So another part of my biohacking is the sun. All right. And I recently saw an article that the White House is trying to figure out ways to block the sun from reaching Earth. If they do that, I'm done. I'm done. That's when I pack up my bags.
Everybody buy a tanning booth. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of that.
If they do that. But the sun is a big part of my feeling good. I'm pretty tan right now, as you can see. I'm in the sun a lot. So they say you should get sun early in the morning. Right when you wake up, you should go and let some, and now not with sunglasses on.
That makes sense, like your circadian rhythm or whatever. Like that's natural.
And before you drink your coffee, go in the sun for 5 or 10 minutes. Look at your phone, do some stuff. I walk around my yard. No sunglasses on. The sunlight's hitting your eyes, hitting your body, hitting your skin.
Barefoot, preferably.
You set your mood better. Yeah, you set your mood better for the day. Now, during the day, you should also get some more sunlight. I like getting it on my stomach, on my chest. I'm even a fan of sun in the old family jewels. It's hard in where I'm at. You gotta, thank God I got that hot tub. I hide behind there, and I can spread eagle and get little
and Uncle Cliff. Yes, Hot Tub Johnny now has a new meaning. Yeah.
So, but the key to getting your sunlight during the day, you don't want sunscreen on.
No.
Sunscreen is all endocrine disruptors, all chemicals.
I try to tell my husband that, but he will not listen to me.
It's all chemicals. So what you want, the key to not burning is not getting the seed oils in you. Two things will make you burn from what I found. Seed oils make sense. If you eat a lot of seed oils, it's like you put oil all over your skin. It's permeating out of your skin. You're going to get burned. And B is sugar. You eat a ton of sugar and spike your blood sugar level, you're going to go in the sun and get burned. So if you don't eat sugar early in the day and you don't eat any seed oils, then you're going to be good. Maybe get a little seed oils at night if you have to. Like, I'm guilty of, I love sushi and I love a spicy tuna roll.
Oh, but you're going to end up with metals, heavy metals. Like
Yeah, there's mercury in it. There
Mercury.
is.
Yeah.
There is. But I do love it. And if I eat a spicy tuna roll, it has some mayo in there, which mayo is all soybean oil.
Oh,
So
is it?
that's
I thought it was eggs and
no
oh, and it's
mayo is
oil.
soybean oil is the number top
Yeah,
ingredient in there.
it's oil. I didn't think about thinking about what oil it is. I
So
always
I
thought it was
don't eat
olive
any
oil and
mayo unless
eggs.
it's with sushi, spicy mayo. No, I
Okay.
don't have sushi every day, obviously. But
Mhm.
and if I have it at night. It's after I went in the sun.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, sunscreen, chlorine are a combination for skin cancer. There,
Which we
you
have a
know,
saltwater pool,
I-
but still.
I'll tell you from speaking from experience, I used to have to avoid the sun completely. I put sunscreen on 24/7 and I fried like a lobster. Now I put no sunscreen on. I'm in the sun all the time and I don't get burned. What changed? The sun didn't change. I changed what I do. I
Your
used to eat
habits. Yeah.
tons of sugar, tons of seed oils, and go in the sun and fry. And now I don't, and I don't burn anymore. It's funny how that works.
That is interesting.
People have argued with me on Twitter about it. I put a tweet out, and I'm like, "Well, I'm living proof.
Right.
I've done this. I'm not talking about something I read in an encyclopedia."
Yeah, you're talking about your own personal experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember you talking about this before that it's good to not have those things blocking you because then you can go out and you can feel when you've had too much. Because then, if you start getting red or burning or your skin is irritated, that's your skin, that's your body telling you,
Warning signal
"Hey,
telling you
that's
go in
a
the shade
warning."
for a little
Yeah,
bit.
go in the
Yes.
shade, cool off. You might be overheating. You might be,
You,
listen to your body. We don't listen to our body enough.
you don't want to stay in the sun from morning to night. You want to
Yeah,
get doses of it and go out of it. Another key factor for hormonal health in general is
sleep.
sleeping proper, but also, and it's something I used to be guilty of, and I'm not anymore. I used to eat a ton of food at night and
Oh,
fast in the morning. Now I was ripped, like lean, doing that, and I looked
yeah.
at it just from us Americans. We're very vain. Wait, 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 wait. How do you
Mhm.
look? So I was ripped. I had a six pack. I was lean. I lost a lot of weight doing that diet of eating tons of food at night and I was eating a lot of sugar too at night.
Oh, really?
I was eating tons of yogurts that had sugar in them, these bars that I eat, healthier
Oh, and
food.
those have those alcohol sugars, right?
Yeah,
The
well,
protein
I was
bars and
probably
what.
getting 60, 80 grams of sugar late at night. Now, because of the peptides, and I'll lead this into the peptides, because of the peptides I'm on, the peptides I'm on are called growth hormone secretagogues. And what they do is they trick your body's pituitary gland into releasing its own growth hormone. So
Okay.
you're not taking exogenous growth hormone. Growth hormone is a fountain of youth. I've researched this since I've been a little kid. Human growth hormone. When I was a little kid, I said, well, when I'm 60 years old, I'm going to take growth hormone. I said that to people my whole life.
Mhm.
And they were like, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's a fountain of youth. It's a fountain of youth. These peptides are much better than growth hormone if you're younger. Now, if you're above a certain age, your body, a lot of the receptors aren't there anymore. You're
Mhm.
not going to get as much benefit out of it. And at that point in time, you would get more benefit from
Well,
like a
that's where, like, the C60 gets rid of those senescent cells, the
C60 can
zombie
help.
cells. Yeah,
Yeah,
and New Eden does the same thing.
yeah.
In both those studies, they kind of found those
Daddy
benefits.
O's right. 2 meals a day. So they tell us to eat
Yeah.
way too
That
much.
was all that whole 3 meal a day, the breakfast campaign was driven by the pork industry. That was all, like, more, government psyop, big, big, like big pharma. It was big farming industry, um, working with the government. It was lobbyists, paying them off to mind control us, to make us slaves and steal our money and our energy. I mean, it's when we go back
I,
and learn our
I was
history.
eating six. I was eating 6 times a day when I was
Mm.
into this stuff, and that's always what they said: eat every 2 or 3 hours. And you know what I got from it? I messed my stomach up for life. I mean, my
Mm.
stomach is still messed up to this day. I have a bad stomach, and so I have to eat gluten free. It brought out
Oh.
my arthritis worse because it's all
Oh.
inflammation in my body, and I just tore my stomach up by. I used to force feed myself when I was a kid to gain weight because I was like, this is what you got to do to gain weight. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and eat. I'd set an alarm and eat. I mean, I would just
Oh my
eat, eat,
God.
eat, eat. And my stomach was on fire all the time. And I was a kid. I was dumb. I was like, I'm getting big, and stupid. Now I'm paying the price, but everything's an opportunity. I got to eat gluten free because I got the psoriasis pretty bad, and
Yeah.
I had arthritis really
You
bad.
should try New Eden. I'm gonna send you a jar, because if you did it even for like people, some of my friends that were had some different issues, even in a couple days they noticed a difference from things like that, because it helps with those, or they notice symptoms of like things that are autoimmune kind of related. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you some,
I look at it though, Lisa, as a blessing, and
because it
because
helps you kind of stay on the path.
I mean, people are so like food focused,
Mhm.
and like that's like their life so centered around. I love a good meal, but I like to eat to feel good now. And
Yeah.
I'm 41 years old. I would never eat this healthy and probably be in this kind of shape had I not had these issues and been forced to do it. So I look at it as that was my body's warning system. My body
Mhm.
had major inflammation in it. And instead of getting cancer or something of that
Right.
nature, it came out and I got arthritis and psoriasis. And you know
Yeah.
what? I thank my lucky stars. And it's like, wow, I was able to heal myself for the most part of it and now live this healthier lifestyle. And that's what it is. It's a life. People are like, oh, you're always dieting. I say, I'm never dieting. I'm
Yeah.
never on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm never ever on a diet.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. I do
That's
this.
a great way to look at it, because you're
Yeah.
really listening to your body. You're saying, "No, I know what's making me sick." We're uh, working on the book Becoming Supernatural, with Amy Weir on Mondays, and part of that is really like being in tune with the guy that really inspired me to start reading. It was, we did an interview. Sean introduced me to this guy, and now I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was really sick and unhealthy. And then he started paying attention. He was like, I'm putting this food in my mouth because I think it tastes good. And then I started realizing, God, I feel like crap afterwards, and once you start paying attention to how it makes you feel,
Yeah.
we're so made busy by trying to survive, and which is part of, the evil one's plan, is we're so busy getting up, going to a job that we hate, and working for some jerk and getting half of that stolen by people that don't respect us, that we feel like we have no voice in what we're doing, to be away from our families all day and come home and then numb ourselves out with Netflix and beer and get up and do it all over again, and be rude to the people because we're exhausted, that we love the most, things have got to change. So part of that
Yeah.
is being aware of
Be,
what you're putting in
being
your body.
healthy is a
Yeah.
huge part of it. So, you know, it's so I'll lead it into these peptide talk real quick. So the peptides, you got to you really want to be doing everything else right, to
Okay.
take the peptides. You don't want to, the peptides aren't a magic pill. It's not a magic thing where you're going to take it. If you're firing on all cylinders, you're going to get results from that. Then you're going to kind of hit a plateau. You're doing everything right. So the peptides make your body more youthful. You get that big pulse of growth hormone at night. And the key is that it's making your body release it on its own. You're not taking exogenous growth hormone, and what happens when you do that, you shut down your body's natural ability to create growth hormone. With the peptides, you're just actually building up your receptors, and you're making your body release it more. So if you come off of it, your body's probably releasing growth hormone better than it was before you went on it. It's just that you're not getting as big of a pulse as when you were on it.
That makes so much sense because there's all these clinics now popping up everywhere, hormone clinics. But it's like an addictive thing because once you go on that, you can never not do it because it does kind of shut down your natural production, from what I understand. And so
I'm not against TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy.
okay.
I'm a believer in that. I'm not on it. My test level's still high. I don't want to shut down my body's natural ability yet, but if my T level was lower, I would go on TRT. Now that's different from being a kid and taking steroids when we call that blasting. You're taking a super physiological dose of testosterone. And when you're a kid, you don't need it. Your testosterone should be high and ample when you're a kid. Jim Montgomery was saying, I wonder if it's similar to Uncle Cliff's Pure Sleep. Uncle Cliff's Pure Sleep has GABA in it. And now I take GABA too some nights. GABA also helps release growth hormone.
Okay.
GABA is a neurotransmitter. What I do is, so the peptide shots that I'm on, it's an injection in your stomach. I was on with glycine, and I cycled off of that. Now I'm on something called ipamorelin mixed with CJC 1295. And you inject it 5 nights a week in your stomach on an empty stomach at night, right before you go to bed. It makes you get a deep, restful sleep. So,
like just sub-Q?
Subcutaneous. Yes, it's a subcutaneous.
Yeah, so it's just a real little needle. It's
not a little insulin needle.
So this is with a doctor supervision or a naturopath kind of doctor supervision, or where are you getting this?
Yes and no. The Sermorelin, I did get prescribed first I got it from like a Fountain of Youth type of clinic.
Okay.
And then I got it from like a telemed kind of doctor online. The ipamorelin, there's some reputable sites that are talk to me offline, but basically there's sites that they're for research use only. Kind of like if you buy C60, it says for research use only.
Yeah.
But you can basically get it from there and do what you have to do. And as long as it's one that there's certain ones that are more reputable than others. There's a couple that I would recommend that you can hit me up offline and I'll send you their link. They're made in the USA. They have posted lab results. I've experimented with them and taken them with good. You have to kind of mix them yourself. It's called reconstitution. So you buy what's called a bacteriostatic water. They sell that on Amazon. You can get it from some other places. You mix that in, and then you have your solution right there.
Interesting. Okay.
Some of them are harder to get than others. It's not always easy to find. Sermorelin with glycine or Sermorelin in general is very easy to get. That's the one that's most prescribed. And then once you start getting into other stuff, you get a little deeper in the weeds. I'm experimenting with one called Kisspeptin right now. Kisspeptin makes your body release more of its own testosterone. So you're not taking exogenous testosterone, you're just getting your body to release more of its own testosterone. So I'm messing around with a real low dose of Kisspeptin. But I really like these growth hormone ones because I feel a deep, restful sleep. You feel more youthful and you have more. You feel better overall, and it's definitely there's something to say about this. So it's
Very interesting.
definitely something I recommend. Hit me up offline. I'm happy to give you guys advice about it. Tell you guys what I take, what I do, and take it from there.
Well, I think we can all try to, work towards being more healthy. And once again, listen to your body, check with your doctors and make sure you're doing things safe. So, and you guys can all hit up Johnny on Twitter. Where did I post it? I had it up there.
You put it in the chat at Johnny Litecoin on Twitter.
At Johnny Litecoin, with Johnny with a Y.
Yep. Yes. No H.
Yeah, or IE, all the things. But thanks so much. That's a lot of great information for everybody. And I think that's really helpful. We're, in the middle of summer and we're getting rid of our COVID chub and doing meetups and happy to see each other. And I'm ready to be shake off all this negative, feeling that's going on around here. I feel like they want us to be sick. They want us to be sad. They want us to be sick. They want us to be alone. And I want to, bring as much positivity as I can to everybody. And
keep drinking coffee. I'll end on that because that's I'm a big believer in caffeine, but you don't want to get it from Monster energy drinks. And coffee has been around for centuries. It's natural. It's good for your stomach. And if you drink coffee black, there's no sugar in it. And caffeine's actually very good for your hormones and all that. So don't stop drinking coffee. So my health tips I'll end on: avoid sugar. If you get sugar, make sure it's cane sugar, no high fructose corn syrup. Avoid your seed oils, especially early in the day. Avoid your sugar early in the day. Get some sunlight, drink some coffee, and get proper sleep. And don't eat at night before bed. Give yourself a few hours before bed with no eating, because that eating at night is going to disrupt your hormones. And you're going to sleep a lot better and more restful. And you're going to get just naturally a better growth hormone release at night just by not. And if you're a man, another thing before bed, take a few arginine pills. Arginine is good for your nitrous oxide, your NO in your body. It's good for your nocturnal, at night that you want to get a nice stiffy at night.
Oh Lord, Johnny. All right. I'll never get any rest.
It's a family show.
My husband will be really happy. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time on The New Normal. Thanks to everybody that joined us in the live chat. Really love having you guys in the live chat. We've got a great community. And if you're watching us later, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And join us over on Patreon. I think we're going to start doing our live Zoom calls again on the weekend. Westwood and I are talking about that, kicking up on Saturdays again. So we'll see you guys there. See you tomorrow on Happy Hour too. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.